In our first story tonight, the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SSNIT, has defended the slightly lower increment in the 2017 monthly pension compared with that in 2016. In line with the Pensions Act, SSNIT today increased the minimum monthly pension of 276 Ghana cedis to almost 335 Ghana cedis for the existing SSNIT pensioners, whilst fresh pensioners receive a minimum monthly pension of 276 Ghana cedis. This represents an 18% increase, albeit 2% lower than that of 2016. Now, Corporate Affairs Manager at SSNIT, Eva Megashi, however, explains there is no cause for alarm.
The minimum pension for those new entrants who are now joining the pension scheme in 2017, they are going to collect 276 Ghana cedis. But if you were already on the minimum pension as of December 2016, your pension will be increased to 337 Ghana cedis for you. Then this goes on, depending on how much you were earning in December, it could go up to about, the highest pension earner is collecting about 29,700 Ghana cedis a month. The pension increment is not uniform or always supposed to go up or go down. It depends on certain economic indicators and the average salary of the previous year, that is 2016. So far as it varies, inflation and all these indicators vary, obviously the pension indexation too is going to vary. So as it varies, we pay because we have to sustain the fund to perpetuity. Make sure that every time we have enough money to pay the pensioners. We have about 174,000 and over pensioners on our payroll that every month we pay, and they increase by about 1,200 every month. Somebody who is already on the pension payroll and he's supposed to enjoy the indexation, obviously he cannot receive the same amount as the new entrant. So if you're a new entrant, you are collecting 276 Ghana cedis as your minimum pension. It ranges between 276 and 29,000. So, but those who are already on it, and then they are going to enjoy the pensions, obviously they are getting the 337 Ghana cedis. So it's not, they are not the same. Somebody who has already been on it, like you are on it and you have been promoted from class 1 to class 2.
Let's turn attention now to some unfolding story in the banking sector. And the Chief Executive of Standard Chartered Bank, Kweku Bedu-Addo, is prevailing upon customers to be a lot more circumspect in their dealings with bank staff to avoid being ripped off. This follows a recent scandal involving a sales officer of Stanbic Bank, Martha Amache, alleged to have duped customers to the tune of over 900,000 Ghana cedis at its Tema Community 1 branch. There's more in this Business Desk report.
The suspect, Martha Amache, who is reportedly an outsourced worker from Noswell Management Security Service, a recruitment agency, she is said to have collected various sums of money from customers of the bank between 2015 and 2016 under the pretext of investing it in fixed deposits to attract interest rates of between 18 and 20% per month. The banker has, however, absconded with over 900,000 cedis in total. There have been concerns the scandal may affect public confidence in the banking sector. But the Chief Executive of the Standard Chartered Bank, Kweku Bedu-Addo, disagrees.
Speaking more generically, I think that it should not undermine confidence in the banking sector. But my advice to banking customers is make sure you operate within authorized channels of, trading. We do have people who are authorized to deal with you, and we do have, more importantly, authorized channels. So if somebody says that, give me the money and I will go and sort it out for you, it's something that we should, as much as possible, avoid and to be discouraged, because that's not how it's meant to be. You should deal with authorized persons through authorized channels. Anything else, you are taking a risk with your resources. So,
but if the person is within the banking sector?
That's why I say authorized persons and authorized channels of doing transactions. Okay? If it's not an authorized channel, it should raise red flags. Maybe if I say that meet me in the car park and you give me the money, I'll bring you the deposit slip later. That's not an authorized channel. So we as a public should be a bit more aware and discerning about some of these trends. It should raise red flags. Authorized persons, authorized channels.
But sometimes it's difficult to decipher this if the person is at the banking hall, for instance.
Authorized persons and authorized channels, because even within the banking, there's certain documentation you need to fill and all that, and submit it yourself and all that, because all that even feeds into the broader financial crime management, anti-money laundering and all that. So you should not be giving your transactions to a third party to do on your behalf.
What about customers? Joy Business sampled some views on the streets of Accra.
For my bank, I'm not. On a scale of 1 to 100, I'll just put them 50%.
And security too is very low because people can just go to the bank and then they might be there. Where are the security that they can even take people's money that, look, let me deposit for you and this thing. All this thing has to be sorted out. Some people too, their perception about bank is it's not that good. So I think education is all about education.
I have SMS alert, for instance. So anytime I transact business, they inform me through SMS. And then with my bank too, they have some investment options. So with that, I'm investing. I'm actually doing some investment too at my bank.
I save in my house because sometimes when you go to the bank to withdraw money, it takes your time. They will not even give you your money. You go up and down, They won't give you your money. So I decided to save in the house.
Ms. Amache has been declared wanted by the Financial Crime Control Unit of the bank and the Commercial Crime Unit of the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service, which have also initiated investigations into the issue.
We'll still stay in the banking sector on a different topic, though, and the poor savings culture among Ghanaians has over the years remained a major hindrance to the efforts to get more people into the banking sector. Analysts, however, believe the introduction of mobile cash services has largely improved the situation. Here's more.
Mobile money cash services were introduced in Ghana about 5 years ago, recording consistent growth in both volumes and value of transactions over time. The Bank of Ghana in June 2015 introduced new regulations that, among others, empowered telecom companies to join banks in operating the service. This triggered suggestions of possible unhealthy competition between banks and telcos in mobile banking services. But speaking to Joy Business, the CEO of PhD Media, Bright Lajepo, says mobile cash services have rather largely boosted the financial inclusion agenda.
We do not save enough in this part of the world, okay? So it all because sometimes we think that we do not earn enough to be able to put some away. But because of the proximity of the mobile phone to you and the micro nature of it, where you can do little by little on a day-to-day basis, I think that we should encourage people to take advantage of mobile money to begin to get into financial literacy, financial services tapping to grow their personal wealth and develop a savings habit and deepen their savings culture. I think that if you look at it by and large, interest is being paid to mobile money wallet owners in Ghana right now. And I think these are some of the benefits to people. So when you put your money in your wallet and you're getting an interest on it from time to time, it's encouraging.
According to him, the need for banks also embrace new trends cannot be overemphasized.
We're looking at the non-banked or unbanked, and they are the ones that can actually generate a lot of the growth. So you want to do micro finance services more. You want to partner with the mobile network operators to ensure that there is small loans that can go through that, of course, the regulator permitting and making sure that the regulation is in place. And you also want to partner with the technology companies to deploy seamlessly across your already existing e-banking services into mobile wallets that exist from the mobile network operators. So there isn't much worry except that they need to now understand each other's business model The mobile network operators cannot all of a sudden become banks, and the banks cannot all of a sudden become mobile network operators. So there's a need for that collaboration, each one bringing their strength to the table. And so that's what the leaders in the businesses and the sectors and the industries that are involved should be doing. They should be talking more and sharing ideas and bringing innovation to the marketplace.
Mobile cash services present enormous benefits to the economy. The value of transaction reached 35.4 billion Ghana cedis as at 2016.
It's been difficult for government to invest oil revenues in certain key sectors of the economy, such as the agri sector, because of the incessant demand for road upgrades by some community leaders in the Western region. That's according to the chairman of the Finance Committee of Parliament, James Kluche Aveji. This, according to him, is unduly putting a strain on the annual budget funding amount expected to be used to support key sectors of the economy. Speaking with Joy Business, Mr. Kluche Aveji said government is in a fix on the matter.
There's pressure coming from the communities that always want their roads also to benefit from the petroleum revenue. And so I don't know how we can go about that. Will government ignore the demands coming from these communities and take decision and said, for this year, I'm going to use the petroleum revenue for only 2 roads or 3 roads or 4 or 5 and leave the rest, or let me continue by ensuring that I spread the money to cover a number of roads.
So it's a dilemma for government.
Yeah, it's a challenge. It's a difficult challenge for government. It's a difficult challenge for government because a minister who can go to a community or president go to a community, and the first welcome address the chief will give is that, President, have you seen the road that you drove on? The president will say yes. The minister, have you seen the road that you drove on? The minister will say yes. We want that road to be constructed. And some even go to the extent of making it specific that it should come from the petroleum revenue, because they believe that because the petroleum revenue is kind of ring-fenced, it's protected by law. So the funding from that source is a bit reliable.
All right, welcome back from that break. You're still watching Business Live. Now, 2016 was an exciting year for startups, and some made some remarkable strides. So in today's edition of the Joy Business Van, we have put together the stories of 3 of such startup firms which aim to stay on top of their game this year.
The Joy Business Van is brought to you by Busy, making good things happen.
Ghana, Best Mobile Accessories Brand at the 2016 Ghana Information Technology and Telecom Awards. Purple Trends GH, Accessories Design of the Year at the 2016 Ghana Fashion Awards. Fuel Connect, Most Innovative Product at the 2016 Ghana Oil and Gas Awards. These are the startups on the rise. What's the story behind their success? Join the van as we find out. At the peak of a power crisis which brought discomfort to many people and businesses, 4 young men set out to find a solution to help people carry out daily activities with ease. In a little bedroom corner, 4 childhood friends, Daniel Kwame Osafo, Nilantan Mills, Joseph Jamra Ako, and Leslie Autry, conceived the idea to market and distribute power banks.
Energy is something that we are all very passionate about. So after the discussion, we decided to do a bit of research, an extensive about 3 months of research. We realized that everybody wanted a power solution, but not many people had the money to afford like a home unit or a generator system or a power inverter system.
The quest to meet a need led the determined 4 to secure a franchise from Python to distribute power banks and other mobile accessories. Mavis Champong and Anamo Ofori, the 2 tech geniuses behind the Fuel Connect app, also set out to meet a need.
I started with this deregulation thing. I was in myself, Nanekia, in the industry as well, so that's how come we met.
Yes.
And then from there, we felt, hey, how do we tackle consumers? You want to take it?
Exactly, like Nana is saying, the whole purpose of deregulation is to serve the end user, which is the consumer. So we were thinking of, okay, a way for consumers to have ready access to that information. So we discussed it, and then we thought the way to go is to go through this app called Fuel Connect.
It took a year to create the Fuel Connect app, days of work and tests. Elsewhere, a flip-flop decorated with bees will spike the interest of Joyce Owusu, then a student, to start Purple Trends GH.
I saw it to be something very interesting, something nice, and I wanted to try my hands on. So I remember I bought the slippers and I got the beads, and then I designed it. I just had to critically look at what I saw the first time and try to see if I could replicate or emulate or do something same as I had seen. And that's how it all started.
For the Python 4, staying ahead of their game and succeeding at what they do means to persevere.
Every single day we have had to learn on the job. Every single day we have had to make mistakes that we have had to come back and rectify and be better at.
Mavis and Nana have learned to make sacrifices.
We are sinking our own savings into it, so we look at it as, okay, we want to get this done, so we need to put some money in there to get it done. So that's really what we are doing. As it grows and running costs and all that, those will ramp up, but by then we hope to have built up our business model better so that at least it can start paying for itself.
And for Joyce, Purple Trends GH has taught her to value small beginnings.
I was one time thinking about the fact that I don't have a shop, I don't have a showroom. How am I going to cope? Is there a way? Then I remember I heard the story of Mabel Simpson, that she started from her garage. And I'm like,
she's still in her garage.
Yes. And when I thought of that, I was like, but me, I still don't even have that garage, so what am I talking about? Then I remember that I still had the dining table in my auntie's house. All I needed was the dining table. The next thing I needed to get the product out there was the social media, to relate with people, to communicate the product to people. That's all that I realized that I needed.
The future? Well, the Python 4, they hope to move from just power banks to dealing in mobile devices. The two tech geniuses are now concentrating on increasing the number of OMCs on their app. And Joyce, well, she's looking to have a showroom of her own and trust the Joy Business van to track the progress they've made. And it promises to be an exciting new year, 2017, for startups. Time now for your busy bits.
Wikipedia is the biggest free content encyclopedia on the internet and one of the top 100 websites in the world. It is also the most popular example of a wiki. This unique online encyclopedia allows users to log on and become contributors. As a result, many articles are written by the foremost experts in a field with lots of current information. Unfortunately, some articles are also poorly written and may contain incorrect information. This has led to several controversies. The website has often been criticized for inaccuracies by educators.
The Joy Business Van was brought to you by Busy, making good things happen.
Time now to bring you our interview of the day, and the Chief Executive Officer of the Standard Chartered Bank, Kweku Bedu Ado, has been assessing the 2016 economy.
From a banking perspective, we saw that towards the end of the year, thankfully, the rates started to come down, which is good for the economy, it's good for investment, it's good for affordability of credit. But there were other challenges. The indebtedness to the banks by SOEs and the energy sector, partially resolved, still some issues to resolve as well. So mixed, but generally trending in the right direction.
So a lot of gains were made, in your view?
What do you mean by a lot of gains?
The problems that persisted, were there enough efforts at addressing them, in your view?
I think the effort is always there. I think what we should judge is the results. Certainly, we are making directionally, I think that we are heading in the right direction. Could the pace be better? I think so. I think the pace could be better, but directionally, institutional reforms or, introducing things like the Ghana fixed income market, for example, is very good for the money market and fixed income market in terms of creating a secondary market that allows investors to freely trade in fixed income products. That's very good for the market, and that's certainly progress. We would like to see rates trending downwards in the last few weeks of the year. It's also a good sign. The question is, how do we sustain this and continue to let rates drop? Contrary to what people think, I think that we in the banking sector, certainly I do believe that I look forward to the day where we would have a low interest rate regime where credit becomes affordable to the average citizen, where the average citizen can take a mortgage and buy a home and live a decent life over his or her work life. I think that's something that I keenly look forward to. So we hope that this time the decline in interest rates will be sustained within limits. Obviously, you have to look at other indicators, but we hope that this is sustained.
That's continuing.
Quick recap of our top story tonight. SSNIT has justified the disparity between 2017 pension increment and that of 2016. Also tonight, Stancha CEO urging customers to be more circumspect in their dealings in the wake of the Stanbic Bank staff fraud scandal. That'll be all the news for now. Of course, you can keep up to date on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Daryl Kwao. Thanks for watching.